Welcome everyone to QHU, where we empower, equip, and educate you to have healthy and safe relationships. My name is Jennifer Rodriguez. I am the interim CEO for Quigley House, but for many years I've served happily as the Director of Sexual Assault Services. And I've been able to work in Clay County not only to support survivors, but to help prevent sexual assault. Today, we are acknowledging that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I hope everybody has already been following us on social media, so you are aware of the fact that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I'm coming to you today excited that the sexual assault program over the years has grown. And what we've been able to accomplish is adding a sexual violence therapist and a sexual violence prevention specialist in the time that I've been here at Quigley House. I'm very happy about that. This program started originally with one person doing it all. And so it's been amazing to watch the growth and support and the need for services in our county. Today, I bring to you a couple new people. So I just want to take a moment and introduce our staff. We have myself currently in two roles as the sexual assault director and interim CEO. I have Avery Jones, who is our sexual assault advocate. I have Tony Irvin, who is the sexual violence therapist. I have Ida Cruz, who is the sexual violence prevention specialist, which is the additional position that we've added this year. And then I have Christy Mcmillan, who is our development director. Christy actually worked with us as a community education specialist from 2015 to 2016. So we're welcoming her back into our family. We're grateful to have this group of people. The one thing I can say about our sexual violence program is that it's amazing. It has really excellent services. And we can highlight some of those services. We have the 24-hour hotline. We have emergency shelter. We have crisis intervention, which really is when somebody calls and they're upset and they need safety planning, they need support, and they just feel like they need to be heard. We offer information and referral, and you'll learn more about the education that we provide survivors about sexual assault and dynamics of sexual violence. We have advocacy and accompaniment. Advocacy sometimes can be confusing for folks, but hopefully after today, you'll have a better understanding of that. Accompaniment means that we will literally be with you while you're having your sexual violence forensic exam and while you're dealing with your legal issues. Community awareness and prevention and education. System coordination, which again, you'll learn more about, but basically means establishing a protocol for responding to survivors within our community, therapy and support groups, and medical intervention in the form of forensic exam. So I'm going to go ahead and let the presentation begin. I do want people to know that if you or someone you know are experiencing sexual violence or even might suspect that something just doesn't feel right, please call our 24-hour hotline. The number is 904-284-0061. We have advocates that are trained that will be able to provide you support and understanding of what's going on. And we're here for you. Thank you. Go ahead, Avery. Avery, you're on mute.
Hi, I'm Avery Jones. I'm the sexual assault advocate for Quigley House. I've been with our agency for about 2 years, starting out as an advocate at our shelter. But I'm very excited to be here to talk about the dynamics of sexual violence. So defining sexual violence. Sexual violence includes rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse, stalking, sexual harassment, voyeurism, sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and exposure. A lot of people think that sexual violence is about sex. It's not. It's about power and control. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about dynamics of power and control. So some of the tactics that perpetrators use for power and control, physical abuse, gaslighting, and manipulation. If you're in a relationship with somebody or even like with a friendship or with a parent and a child being very possessive, controlling over what the individual is doing, where they're going, who they're around, and that tries to help silence the victim so that they don't speak out and they don't get the support that they deserve. At Quigley House, we're all about giving you the power to take control of your life and be able to get the help that you deserve, because everyone deserves to be supported and understood. They can use hostility, isolation, sabotage, financial abuse, threats to harm yourself or others, or pets, dishonesty, just to name a few. Common reactions of survivors. There's not one common way for a survivor of sexual assault to react. Everyone reacts differently. No one can tell you how you're supposed to feel except for you. And when you're a survivor of sexual assault, it's often very common to feel misunderstood and feel like no one understands you. And that's a big thing that we work with as advocates, and of course with counselors, and Tony will talk about that later on. A survivor might feel confused, angry, guilty. They might blame themselves for what happened. They might experience a lack of trust to other people, or feel embarrassed about what happened to them. And the important thing to remember is that the victim is never at fault. You didn't do anything to cause what happened. There wasn't something that you did or didn't do that created what happened. It is on the perpetrator. They are the ones who chose to commit a crime, not you. How to help. So one of the biggest things you can do is tell a survivor that you believe them, that you're there for them. Let them know that you're there to support their decisions. Don't pressure them to report if they're not ready. You might think, oh, well, they need to report. If they're not ready to do that, just meet them where they're at. Let them take the lead on discussions, actions, all of that. You can provide them with resources, such as resources to Quigley House, and help them practice self-care. If you notice that they're struggling and they're isolating themselves, reach out to them, be there for them, but don't pressure them to talk about something or do something that they're not ready to do.
Sorry, I just looked up and I was like, oh, that's me.
I'll do the introduction. So this is Tony Irvin. Tony worked as a sexual violence advocate for, almost 4 years, just shy, no, 4 years actually, right on the dot. And during that time, she got her master's degree in social work and has now become our therapist for sexual violence. We're very proud of the work that she's done. And Tony was part of the time period in our prevention work where we got acknowledgement from the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence. So thank you, Tony. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Jennifer. So once again, yes, I'm Tony Irvin. So I am the counselor here. I do both sides of it, and I do the domestic violence counseling and I do the sexual assault therapy. So some emotions after the sexual violence, a lot of this Avery just kind of covered. So we're kind of repeating ourselves with this. So sorry about that. After sexual assault, survivors may feel their bodies are not really their own anymore, often reporting feelings like Avery mentioned, such as shame, terror, and guilt. Many blame themselves for the assault. Some of them, they feel, oh, if I didn't drink so much, if I just didn't wear this, if I, the normal things that society puts out there, and that's not what it's about. Sexual abuse does not only leave psychological scars, it can also have long-lasting health consequences as well. Survivors cope with sexual assault trauma in different ways. Everybody's assault is different, so everybody's situation is going to be different, and their healing process is going to be different. So survivors who have survived sexual assault can get help here at Quigley House. Like Jennifer mentioned, the helpline, you can always call that. Once again, it's 904-284-0061. And anybody would be willing to help you and believe you when you do call. But therapy that we offers a safe, confidential place to help you with no judgment. Everybody, like I said, everybody handles their problems differently, and we're willing to help you along that way without that judgment, and to do what works for you in your healing process. So please give us a call. We want to hear from you.
Thank you, Tony. And let me just say about our sexual violence therapy program, because this is where our program really differs from the domestic violence program. The sexual violence therapy is in place for survivors because we recognize that trauma leads to changes neurologically and physiologically in the body that are different than other types of issues. And so we recognize that you need a higher level of care to address that. But I want to also differentiate that doesn't mean that we provide therapy for all situations. So we don't have a mental health program. This is specific to sexual violence survivors and their trauma. So thank you very much, Tony. I'd like to introduce now our newest member to our sexual violence team, which is Ida Cruz. Ida will be doing sexual violence prevention coordination. This is a grant that was funded from the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence through the Center for Disease Control. And so she can explain the details of that, but we're very excited to have this program reintegrated into our services. We have had sexual violence prevention program grants previously, but we had a 3-year gap. I apologize, a 3-year gap. So we're very excited to have gotten that CDC prevention grant back. So thank you, Ida.
Thank you, Jennifer, for the lovely introduction. So as Jennifer stated, my name is Ida Cruz, and I am the Sexual Violence Prevention Coordinator. Today, I will be overviewing the Stop Sexual Violence acronym. So here you can see the S stands for social norms, T stands for teach, O for opportunities, P for protect, and SV for sexual violence. So in stopping sexual violence, we want to address social norms that protect against sexual violence, teach skills to prevent, provide opportunities, and empower and support individuals, and create a protective environment. So for social norms, it's the opportunity to foster healthy norms about gender identities, masculinity, and violence in social settings. We want to create a positive and inclusive community so individuals do not feel afraid to stand up for what is right. For T, we're teaching skills. We want to discuss and teach one another about the importance of consent, sexual communication, and sexual respect. O is opportunities. We want to provide leadership opportunities to empower and support our youth. You can do that through volunteering, sharing our posts on social media, joining our lives, and participating in our challenges. And we'll also be having some youth events soon, so keep an eye out for those. And lastly, P, to protect. We want to create a safe place. It is very important to express in any social setting that violence and harassment is something that we do not tolerate. We strive to implement a healthy and positive atmosphere for everybody.
Thank you very much for explaining that program. And you will see Ida out in the community. She's going to be working with our youth in Clay County. She's going to be working with women and trying to engage men in our movement because obviously we need allies to accomplish the mission that we have. It's a big mission and we need all of your help. Again, follow us on social media so you can connect with Ida. You'll know some of the projects and things that she's working on. We're excited because we have a new TikTok account, and I know Christy's going to be touching on some of that. But I'm very excited also to introduce to you Christy Mcmillan. Christy and I met back in 2015. I remember she pulled up in her little Subaru with that thing packed to the hilt and came into admin and just became a family member. So welcome, Christy, again, and I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Oh, I should say, before I allow her to go on, Christy has been doing sexual violence and domestic violence, both, advocacy in the military. So I'll let her explain that further, but she has a lot of experience and knowledge, and I'm excited for her contributions. Go ahead, Christy.
Thank you, Jennifer. And yes, I am just as excited to be back. When I started working for Quigley House, I was able to gain knowledge and experience that completely helped me work with families, victims, and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault within the military. At an installation, I was one of the very few family advocacy domestic violence victim advocates on Fort Rucker. And I'm just excited to be here. I feel, you're gonna have to edit this. Can you edit it, or do I just need to keep going?
Keep going.
Okay. I wasn't expecting you to do that. So anyway, okay, let's see.
I'm sorry, I made her emotional, but as you can see, we all are very close, and you need to be close in this line of work because it's difficult. Listening to survivors speak their stories and taking on their fight every single day, it has an emotional price that it takes on us. And it's important that we all get along and serve each other and respect each other. And so I think that's probably why you were getting emotional, because you're feeling that already and coming back in the 3 weeks. But anyway.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. And yes, I am so excited to be back. I'm very excited to be working with all of the staff. I think that the sexual assault program is absolutely amazing. The services, my heart is here at Quigley House. When I left to go work on a military installation, I had a family there as well, but my heart's always been at Quigley House. I've seen how Quigley House transforms lives of survivors, and they all have the passion. It is their mission, and they live this 24/7. So I am so glad to join the team, and I look forward to seeing what we do in the future. One of the things that I'm so excited about is just this, what we're doing. We've never had the opportunity to do this, and I think this is absolutely phenomenal. I know COVID had a little bit to do with it. It's not a bad thing that we've experienced some of the, the results from COVID. This is phenomenal to be able to reach out to everyone, to be able to reach more people. Social media is huge. And that's one of the things. There's so many things that you can do to get involved. You don't have to physically be here. You don't have to be a paid staff member to help and be a part of the team on Quigley House. So what I would like to do is, one of the main important things to remember is refer people, refer survivors, keep our phone number in your phone, learn our hotline number. Someone you know is a victim of abuse. Someone you know someone. So always have our phone number. We can assist them, we can provide them resources, we can help them navigate the whole system. Even if they don't want to report, even if they have no idea what to do, they can call, they can talk to Avery, they can pick up the hotline number and call. So referring is huge. Donating items. Whenever anyone asks about Quigley House, sometimes they may think we're located on Blanding in the thrift store. That is not all that we do. The good thing is that we do have a thrift store. And when you're spring cleaning, you're getting ready to gut the house, coming up for the summer, remember to take all of your stuff to the thrift store, because we are not just a store. I don't think a lot of people understand those items in that store directly benefit survivors, families that are in our shelters, that are starting their new life, that have a new home. They will be getting those items. They may be using your dishes to feed their children at their table. So please, they may be needing to wear your old dress clothes that you never touched for 2 years. They may need that for a job interview. So please bring everything that you could think of to our shelter. Purchase things in our shelter. It all stays within Quigley House and our services.
Can I say one thing about the thrift store too that sometimes people do not realize? So oftentimes people will come to our admin building or drop items off and say, I want this specifically to go towards survivors. I don't want this to go to the thrift store. A piece that I want to educate folks on today is the fact that in order to empower our survivors, we don't just give them items, right? That's not empowering because they don't have a choice in what they would receive. What we do is we create vouchers for them. And that voucher system allows them to go to the thrift store and shop for those items themselves. That's a critical piece to empowerment. It seems like it's little, but when you hear it, it does make a lot of sense. People deserve to have a right in what they wear and what they use. And if we're forcing them, like, here, you've got to wear this, this is all we have, or we are being no different than an abuser would be by saying you have to wear that. So our voucher system is critical. And please know that the items in the thrift store are being shopped for by the survivors themselves. I just wanted to differentiate with that because that's a really important piece that people don't realize.
Thank you, thank you. And so the thrift store is at 1017 Blanding. Their hours, I believe, are Tuesday through Saturday. Is it 9 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday? And you can drop off your stuff there. Or if you need to, you can drop them off at admin and we have a regular pickup, weekly pickup for those. Sharing our posts on social media is critical for us to reach as many people as we need to reach, because our information doesn't just stay local, doesn't need to stay just in Clay County. We provide assistance to everyone. So the more you share posts, the more you get everyone to like our Facebook page. Someone on there that needs to hear what we have to say, they're going to be able to access that. And then we have different campaigns. We have different events. We have the hashtag Rise Up. I think I still have it, my tattoo on. That began this week. Sexual Assault Awareness Month is this month, and we have events. Next week, definitely, it's Victims' Rights Week, or this week is Victims' Rights Week. Just make sure that you're following everything that we've been posting and share it. Also, we've got our Facebook page, the TikTok, excited about the TikTok page, the Instagram page, our website, which is at Quigley House. You can also help by donating, becoming a partner with us. We provide free services and we can't do it without assistance and support from everyone. You can, participate in recurring monthly payments, $20 a month. A sexual assault exam is like $1,500. It won't take that many people to donate as little as they even possibly can to get that sexual assault paid for, exam paid for. So thank you so much. Make sure you follow us, make sure you share everything, and don't forget our hotline number, 284-904-284-0061. You can always email us. But give us a call, even if you have any questions. If you want to help, volunteer. We always take volunteers. We never turn anybody away. So please become one of our partners, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment and thank the team. And Alyssa, I don't know if you can go back to that one slide about the website. Okay, so staying in the loop, I just want to highlight a couple really cool things that we're doing differently this year. Alyssa Jordan, our community education specialist, our genius that she is, has created a SAM page. SAM stands for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Please go to our Facebook page, learn more about the sexual violence movement. I know oftentimes people feel like it's such a big issue that there's no way to stop it, but there is. We need to educate everyone. Like Christy said, by sharing our information, you're making sure that somebody out there that needs to hear these messages receives those messages. And you can be that ambassador for us. But I'm really excited about our SAM page. On that SAM page later this month, you're going to see a gallery of masks. And these are art pieces that survivors put together. And we're very proud of those survivors. It is not easy to face the monster that hurt you, or to express yourselves about what's happened. And so those pieces of art, they're beautiful, and they symbolize a lot of the pain and the journey that survivors took. So I just want to make sure that they were featured. I thank you all again. I thank my team. These are amazing individuals, and I'm blessed to work with them every single day. And I too get emotional about that, Christy. as I'm about to cry now, but I thank you all, and I thank you, Clay County, as our support system, and I look forward to you helping us serve our mission to educate and prevent sexual violence in Clay County. So thank you, ladies. Stay safe.